Hey, it's Joshua Vergara here for VR Source. What's going on, everybody? And I'm here to talk to you about PlayStation VR. Now, you're going to see a lot of footage in this video of me playing a game called Farpoint, which is a game that, of course, uses the PlayStation VR headset, but also uses the light gun. Now, the light gun at the very tip of it looks a little bit like the PlayStation Move controllers from a little bit back in the day. And at first, I thought that this controller looked really odd. It looked like there was PVC piping put together to create a makeshift controller. But it actually turned out to be a very good tool to use in this particular game and probably in plenty of others. Now, on the back of this gun controller is a trigger along with the different face buttons that you can hit with your thumb. And then there is a button on both sides of that trigger so you can reload, in this case, for this game. And using your other hand, you are able to move around in the world using a regular control stick and also a D-pad if you need to use it for extra functions. And of course, there is a second trigger for secondary fire over on the front. Now, using sensors that are connected via the PS4 camera, it is going to be able to one-to-one show you exactly what the gun looks like in the world. And you can see me in this particular clip looking at the ground and seeing my shadow, which does show exactly what my position is with my hands because of the sensors on the light gun. Now, the thing about PlayStation VR is that it's a system very different from things like the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift in that it already works with an existing console, and that's the PlayStation 4. You're not going to be walking around in the HTC Vive, and you're not going to need a high-end computer like the ones that you need for the Oculus or the Vive. Instead, you're going to use your console, and the VR headset will give you a 360 view of your environment, which then is used to kind of show where your direction is when you're running forward. If you have the control stick pointing upward, then you're going to run in that direction as long as you're looking where you're going to be running. Otherwise, if you're looking forward and you hit the control stick on either side, you will be strafing, which is nice for these first-person shooters. What was great about this game was the light gun itself. It's a first-person shooter where you can run around, but when you bring the gun up to your face, you can actually see a crosshair inside of the rifle and be able to shoot very accurately with that. And it really kind of makes this game just incredibly immersive. You already have the headphones on and you're looking around in the space. Things might creep up behind you and you have to turn around and shoot them really quickly. And it's really just the design of the game that makes this VR platform, it gives it a very good example of just how awesome PlayStation VR can be. Now, from what we are told, Farpoint is going to have a full narrative. It's going to be a complete video game, but this demo just put the player into a number of different environments with a few different changes here and there. But what I loved the most about this experience was that it almost put me into the character. I got into character as a soldier or some sort of fighter inside of this world, actually holding the gun in such a way that a soldier would, or at least I felt like it would. And there are certain movements that are just really awesome to actually do in this VR space. For example, running up to a gun and actually laying flat the light gun itself on top of the gun in virtual space in order to pick it up, or waving the gun over ammunition in order to automatically attain it. But probably the best movement in this game is the ability to change your loadout. On the one hand, you have a secondary fire button, but if you want to change from the rifle to, let's say, the shotgun, which was available in this game as well, you would lift up the light gun over your shoulder and easily change between the two. This simple gesture was enough to make you feel like a badass inside of this game. Now, from what we were told, the video, or rather the content that's being played through the PlayStation VR headset is running at 120 Hertz, which means that it's going to have a good refresh rate and it's going to have very smooth movement, and that's exactly what we saw. After all, this is a headset that is tethered via USB and a couple of other extra pieces into the PlayStation 4, and it does a great job of providing a pretty immersive experience, and it's also quite clear and very high in quality. And the thing about the PlayStation VR is that it's going to become the type of system that is easy to adopt. Not to say that the HTC Vive or the Oculus Rift are going to have any problems being picked up by plenty of new users. It's just that those who already have PlayStation 4 systems know what to expect from a developer, or rather a manufacturer, that has AAA titles already on their consoles that can just be brought over to the VR space. So that should do it for this look at Farpoint in particular for the PlayStation VR. Make sure you stay tuned to VR Source for even more about all of this and even beyond in the world of virtual reality. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit the like button on these videos because we love to see those thumbs up, and we're going to bring you even more from virtual reality, augmented reality, and more, because we are your source for all kinds of reality.